We're in today with the legendary GTX 750 Ti. This is a 2014 video card with 4 gig of VRAM, GDDR5. It's got 640 shaders running at 1059 MHz on the core clock and 1350 MHz on the memory clock. 128 bits, DirectX 11, and we're gonna pair it up with this i7 7th gen with 4 cores and 8 threads. I think this is a fantastic video card with that 4 gig of VRAM amount, and I think we need to put this video card in a couple of games and see how it holds. Let's jump in. GTX 750 Ti apparently is doing the job here in Valorant with maximum details, 1080p. Everything is set up at maximum, so I can see if I can fill up this amount of VRAM this video card has, you know. So I'm not gonna be shy on this video card because it's working really nice. It's working really nice. It's got the VRAM, it's got the power on the core. And I will not say nothing, seriously. 59 degrees, when a video card is on maximum load on the core, it's pretty decent, you know. On the system side, the CPU has no problem. The temperature is good on the CPU. It doesn't stress the CPU with 30-40%. It's doing quite okay, you know. 8.5 gig of system RAM being utilized in this situation, and is averaging pretty nice, you know. So the CPU has no problem when it comes to delivering this performance. It's kind of okay, you know. I think even a lower CPU can actually do the job with this. But if you are jumping in XDefiant with 1080p and low details, 100% render scale, you can actually see that the GPU is doing a fantastic job, you know. It looks fantastic, it runs fantastic, so I hope I don't have to change that render scale, because that's the only thing that I'm in question here, you know. In this case, you can actually see it's struggling to keep 60 FPS, so I will be inclined to actually utilize that option, but hopefully not for a long time. 53 on average. I mean, look at this. So in this, you can actually see that the GPU it's struggling on the core side to actually do the job. I think the VRAM it's useless in this case, because there is no need for this amount of VRAM, because I need more core speed here than actually VRAM, seriously. The preset that is low details, medium details, high details, very high details, that is using the render scale. So I put it on low details and I activated 100% render scale, making it custom. So it's not low details as a preset, if it makes any sense. But if I jump in Crossout with 1080p and low details, you can actually see the GPU is doing a fantastic job. I mean, I tried to put on maximum, but it was lagging. It's taking 1.5 gig of VRAM and keeping the core at maximum load. I will say this is a decent performance, you know. I want a lot of FPS, so I don't want to stress the GPU. I want something playable too. Oh yeah, no. All right, let's have some fun and see how it's going. Maybe in a team fight it's gonna be more horrible. No. No. They hooked me. That was really horrible, seriously. But it's doing the job. The system itself doesn't have any problems. 30-40% load on the CPU side, around 8 gig of system RAM being utilized, and it's keeping the FPS around 81 on minimals. I would say this is decent, you know. Crossout is quite good with this video card, but on low details. Or maybe you can put the settings custom how you want, and then that will be ideal. If we're jumping in Dota with this video card, you can actually see in a team fight with maximum details and 1080p, barely hold 60 FPS. I want more FPS from this video card, and I think I have to make some custom settings here. It's not okay, you know, to have 58 FPS. In some cases, it was dropping to 24 on minimals, and I will say, you know what, custom settings will resolve this problem. But in a team fight, you can actually see that the game, it's utilizing the GPU's performance. It's okay. It's doing the job, you know, but I think with this video card, you have to be more careful of how you set it up in order to get the maximum from it. The system itself doesn't have any problems. Around 11 gig of system RAM being utilized, around 50% load on the CPU, and less than 50 degrees on the CPU. It's doing fantastic with the computer. It's utilizing the CPU, it's utilizing the whole system, okay. So there is no problem when it comes to this computer. The only thing you have to do is set up the video card properly. That's it. If we're jumping in Apex, you can actually see it's working really nice with 1080p and low details. I put adaptive target FPS on 100, and I get nearly 100 FPS. It's lowering the resolution, but it's doing the job. Seriously, I'm interested on actually achieving playable FPS with this, because this is something that I didn't thought it will be possible. In this case, you can actually see the GPU is doing a fantastic job, even though it's maximum load on the core. It's holding, you know. So in this case, with this video card, it's using only 1.9 gig of VRAM. That's actually good from a video card like this. It doesn't look that great, you know. It's low quality, or you can actually see it's very hard to play like this, but it's doing the job, so can't say nothing about this. The system itself doesn't have any problem. 9.7 gig of system RAM use, around 50% load on the CPU. For this amount of performance, I get only this amount of load on the CPU. I will say an i5 can actually do the job. But if we're jumping in PUBG with 1080p and low details, I put everything on minimals with 70% render scale, and you can actually see it's it's very interesting, you know, this type of performance. I have everything on very low and 70% render scale. I'm actually surprised, hey, how it's working. In this case, you can actually see that the system is holding this video card. It's holding it accountable because it's delivering the performance. I like it, you know. So if you're interested on actually playing PUBG with a video card like this, it is possible, and it's not that hard to achieve this performance. Averaging around 60-70 FPS on average, not very good minimals, 24. That's not okay when it comes to PUBG, because you need proper FPS, and you need view distance, you need details in order to see people and actually react. You see, the moment I keep doing a couple of movements, go around the building, it's very hard on the system, and it's giving me some low minimals, you know, and some dips in the performance. I like the performance. I mean, I like the performance that is got like 60-70 FPS on average, but in some cases it's not okay. It's unplayable in some cases. But if we're jumping in Counter-Strike with performance mode, lowest details on 1080p with this video card, you can actually see the core on the video card is maxed out, 2.4 gig of VRAM being utilized, and on the system side we get nearly 10 gig of system RAM being used. The CPU, it's used there on around 80-90%, you know, so this i7 actually is being used in order to deliver this 100 FPS on average. It's doing fantastic work, you know, the whole system, but I'm 100% sure the FPS stays around here, around 24. Hopefully it will get better, because if not, now we'll have a lot of problems with the minimals, a lot of spikes, you know, but the frame time is good, you know, the frame time is good in this case, around 5 to 10, you know, in some situation it's working really nice. You can lower the resolution to get even better FPS. I think that will be advantageous in this case, in order to get the best frame time ever. If we're jumping in Cyberpunk with this video card, I got 1080p with lowest details. I got unfortunately Fidelity FX on performance. Let me show you what I have here. So I got 1080p with performance on Fidelity FX, so on upscale. So yeah, 30 FPS. I don't like the number, you know, 30 FPS, you know, but it shows me that on 1080p, because I can lower the resolution, you know, but I can put it to 720p, some lower resolution in order to get the same performance. Imagine playing 1024 without any upscale, you know. 2.2 gig of VRAM, so it's using on this occasion the video card, maximum core load 59 degrees, so the video card itself, it's okay, you know, in this situation. It looks low quality, but I can't say nothing, you know. It's GTX 750 Ti, you know, the year when it was released, you know, the year when the game was released, there is a big difference between them, you know. It's working, you know, the game is starting. That's it. It doesn't run properly. It just starts, you know. I will say it's working. If we're jumping in GTA 5 with 1080p and normal details, you can actually see that the system is doing a fantastic job. Seriously, look at this. Oh yeah, looks great, even on low details, 70 FPS. Yeah, I'll take it. 2.2 gig of VRAM. I mean, it's using the video card, but at the same time, taking 10 gig of system RAM, so I'll take it. In this case, with the 750 Ti, you can actually see that I have 73 FPS on average, 54 on minimal. It's holding pretty well, and the core is not maxed out, and I'm actually surprised. 80% load on the core. I mean, what's the problem? I think the problem and the limitation here is the threads from the CPU. Usually, that's what happens whenever I have decent FPS, the GPU core is not stressed, the VRAM from the video card is not fully loaded, then I will always blame the threads from the CPU because the cores are not maxed out. So I'm guessing that's the only problem. I have enough system RAM, so what's wrong? Why you stay on 72 FPS on average? I mean, 48 minimals is okay, but why 72? Why it's not 80 or 100? But if we're jumping in World of Tanks with 1080p and medium details, the GPU is doing a fantastic work. You know, the core is maxed out, but is delivering over 100 FPS. I want to see the averages here because the overall performance is quite good with this video card. Even if it's only using 1.8 gig of VRAM, I think this is enough in order to deliver this amount of FPS. You don't have to use the whole amount of VRAM in order to get entertained here with this GTX 750 Ti, you know. I think the overall performance is quite good. Let's go into the settings and activate VSync. With VSync on, do I have the GPU stressed? This is the most important thing, the temperature, you know, and if it's not high temperature, then it's okay. With VSync, it's much better because it's more stable. It's under 20 frame time, 38 minimals, but yeah, I will say de-stressing the video card is more important than having a high FPS, because in this game, you don't need this amount of FPS. It looks great, you know, your action is still the same if you're on 60 FPS. You have to play the same, you know, don't rush and help your team. But aside from that, there is no complaint here. I think this video card is fantastic by a mile. Seriously, because of that 4 gig of VRAM, this video card can actually enter as a budget build category. You know, it's got only one 6-pin connector that is very ideal for low output power supplies if you want to build that computer. Decent performance from the core and overall acceptable driver support, if it makes any sense, with that DirectX compatibility. Aside from that, I can say nothing bad about it because it's a decent overall package. The only thing I'm curious, how many games do you have that you think is going to require that 4 gig of VRAM? I think majority of them, it will be even playable with 2 gig of VRAM. Now, that's the only problem here. That 2 gig of VRAM GTX 750 Ti, it's much cheaper than a GTX 750 Ti with 4 gig of VRAM. Now, if you can find and you can adjust to that requirement, I think you'll be okay. But if you manage to find this variant with 4 gig of VRAM, good for you, and that's it. Aside from that, I have nothing to say. That's it. That's the only thing I'm complaining. Price and availability. I like the video card. I'm actually curious what types of games would you like to play on a video card like this. And if you have any suggestion in the future for this video card, leave a comment and I will see you very soon.